As you can see, this is a Glock 19X BB gun. It's made by Umarex, who has a license from Glock to recreate this model as well as others. This is the magazine. I'm showing that it's empty, but also that tab is like a pull down and you can lock it at the bottom, but it's a really strong spring. And you can lock it so you can load BBs a little easier. So you can see the detail on this is pretty good. Now I don't have a real Glock 19X, so I don't know how realistic it is, but I don't know. It's pretty cool. It looks, to my eye at least, my untrained and ignorant eye, it looks pretty real from pictures I've seen on the internet and so on, and actually handling a real Glock 17. It looks pretty good. The feel of it in the hand is also pretty good. Without the magazine, it's very light. It is plastic or polymer frame. The slide is metal. And the magazine actually gives it most of its weight. With the magazine unloaded, it's very light, and once you put it in, it's very heavy. That is a safety switch. You can see it's got a rail, so you can mount some accessories. And I have a CO2 cartridge loaded in there, so you'll be able to see that it actually does blow back. The slide does lock. The release works. It's not ambidextrous, however. The right side is just for show. Only the left side works. And that trigger safety does work as well. If you try to pull the trigger just from the side without pulling the center safety part, it will not, the trigger will not fire. This is a key that comes with the gun. And one side is like a screwdriver, the shorter side, so that you can lock in and unlock the CO2 cartridge. And I'll just kind of demonstrate here because I don't want to unscrew it because the CO2 cartridge is not empty, so I don't want to waste the gas. And then the other side I use to turn on or off the safety. It's kind of hard to do with your fingers. I'm just showing it's unloaded. So see, that's the blowback action. It locks back because the cartridge is empty, or the magazine is empty. So it's very realistic action. Now, I kind of regret buying this because I live in California. And as you may know, in California, there is a roster of handguns that you can buy. You cannot buy just any handgun. It has to be on the roster from the Department of Justice. And I bought this gun to train with for one of my self-defense classes. When I bought it, I knew very little. I knew nothing about guns. I still know very little, but I know a little more now to know that the 19X is not on the roster and you cannot actually buy the real gun here in California. So what I should have done was bought either a Glock 17, which is on the end, or any of these Sig Sauers, which are on the roster. That 365 just made it a few months ago, or the Glock 19 third generation, which is on the right side there, that $89 one. So in terms of, or I should have bought that 17, which I think is on the end, or even that Beretta PX4. Those are on the roster, and I think Big 5, this is the store that I'm looking at these on, or I'm looking at these guns at through the display case, and Big 5 kind of knows what they're doing. Most of these guns, except for that Gen 5 19X, the 19X Glock, they're all on the roster. So they're selling here what you can realistically get as a real gun. So if I were to do it over again, maybe I would get the Gen 5, the Glock 19 Gen 3, which is on the roster, or maybe the 17. Just because the actual guns are a little more, I guess, affordable than the 6 hours. Maybe even the Beretta, although it looks kind of funky. But I hear it's a great shooting gun, the PX4. So I'm making this video because while I love the 19X BB gun I have, I don't know if I would have bought it knowing what I know now, that it is not on the roster of approved handguns for sale in California, or California compliant. Hey, I hope that helps you in choosing a BB gun if you are looking to buy one for training purposes. Although using a BB gun for training purposes may not be the most ideal thing, the way we use it in our self-defense classes is just as like a gun, a practice gun to practice loading and pulling the slide and things like that, not actually firing it. We do have range days where we've gone and shot live ammo in practice drills, but in our weekly classes sometimes we practice with dummy guns, and some class members have BB guns like this. So when I learned that it was a BB gun, I went ahead and got the 19X that I have now. If you thought this was helpful, click like and subscribe for more content.